Hi friends, it's Linda here, and this week I would like to talk about wood. So we know that wood comes from trees, and we know that trees are important. They give us oxygen, they help to clean and filter the air, they provide us with shade. Some trees even give us food to eat, but there are other valuable uses for the trees and the wood that they provide. So let's dive into it. Taking a look at Sherry's tree display, the first one we see is balsam fir, and it's a coniferous tree or a softwood. And when you look at the bark, it has something called resin blisters. And when those blisters pop, the resin or the sap that comes out can be used to soothe colds, muscle aches, and flu symptoms. Then we've got the eastern white pine, and it's probably best known as being Ontario's provincial tree. It's also a coniferous tree and a softwood, and it has a reputation of being the king of the forest because it grows the tallest and the straightest. Next, we've got our first hard maple, our sugar maple, which is a deciduous tree and a hardwood. And the cool thing about maples is that the wood is able to carry sound waves really well, which is probably the reason why it's often used in the construction of musical instruments. Next, we've got black cherry, which is also a deciduous tree and a hardwood, and it is used in the construction of cabinets and furniture. It has a really nice dark color inside. I've known a lot of people that like to use it when they make their own canoe paddle. Looking at the bark, it's got a very flaky appearance. It almost looks like burnt cornflakes. Then we've got the white birch, and the white birch is also a deciduous tree and a hardwood, and it's used to make lumber. There's another use that we'll talk about in just a moment. This is a white birch tree, and when you're building a campfire, the bark is very helpful in just getting your fire going. Now, you don't have to peel the bark off of a tree, and in fact, that's not a good thing to do because the bark actually helps to protect the tree. So what you'd want to do is find any birch bark on the ground or find a dead birch tree that's lying on the ground that you can actually take the bark off. But the bark is very flammable on a white birch tree because it has an oil base to it. So even if it's wet, it will still light for you. Next, we've got eastern white cedar, which is a coniferous tree and a softwood, and it can be used in building fences, shingles, boats, cedar chests, saunas. It has an amazing smell. That's probably the most memorable thing about it. But if you're building a campfire, it's a great wood to have for kindling. It's very easy to split, as you can see right here. Anybody that builds fires loves cedar. Last but not least, we've got red oak, which is a deciduous tree and a hardwood. It's often used in flooring, furniture, railway ties, and because it's a very hard, heavy, strong wood, it's sometimes used in the making of tool handles, like for an axe or a hammer or a shovel. This tree that I've got right here is called a red osier dogwood, and you always know a dogwood by its bark. It's very red. Now, a great use for this tree, if you like to roast hot dogs and marshmallows, they make really good roasting sticks because they're nice and flexible and yet strong, and there's tons of dogwood around. If you are a beaver, which I know you're not, but beavers like to use it to bind up their food pile so it doesn't float away, because again, it's very flexible, almost like rope in a sense. These are tree cookies, and if you want to figure out how old a tree is, the easiest way to do that is to count the rings. But that's not the only thing the rings tell us. They actually paint us a picture or give us a glimpse into the life of that tree by showing us all the different types of conditions that they had to grow through. It's a beautiful winter day, and I would like you to get outside and enjoy nature.